Alright guys, still learning how to do videos without jumping all over the place. I'm sure this one's going to be all over the place as well, but I'm trying to teach y'all and mentor. The word is mentor, guys. Nitro, 8 scale. You know, I see where these people, and I think it's just a term. They want to be taught. They want to learn. I get the term, but realistically, you have to learn this stuff yourself. Somebody can mentor you, but you have to learn it. I get to have the great pleasure this weekend of hanging out with one of my racing buddies. He's about my age, but his dad was a head of Rice University, which is a prestigious college here in Texas. If anybody knows Rice University, head of aviation. Worked there many years, and racing was in his blood. Made his money, did his deal, retired. Strictly racing. Well, his son is a good friend of mine. Well, he never said to me, "Did I teach you something? Did you learn something from me?" He always gave me the confidence to tell me I'm learning. He's only mentoring me in the right direction. So guys, it's not easy. You have to learn by trial and error. And you can't just tell somebody you're going to mess this up by doing this. Now, if they're going to mess up bad, or the way I look at it, like if they're almost right where they need to be, and I hear them start second guessing themselves, I'll give some feedback. But other than that, you kind of have to learn on your own. So with that all being said, let's talk about pipes today. And like I said, I might be all over the place, but I'm going to do my best to explain it. Again, this is all probably going to be controversial, and why I say this, because there's so much YouTube and forums going out there with the average Joe trying to learn, and they're speaking words of what they saw on YouTube or not. And this is really not experience to me. This is just doing research. But you gotta kind of always believe half the story, right? So keep that in mind. So let me explain the theory that I know and was taught and mentored to me through the years. So what do we got here? I just want to show you a collection, and then we're going to move forward. I got the JP3, the 2, the Nova Rossi 9901s, and I have a different header on that because I use it on my break-in bench. And then I got my little, some of you are going to know it, I think. This is my special pipe. This is what I do a lot of tuning on, guys, with this pipe. With that being said, you see the screw-ins that I can do here? Anywhere from, let's see, this is 7 to 8. The reason those are, you have these, those will, when you put those in, it will give back pressure to the engine. So you can kind of find out where your torque is. And I use that only to tune, to find out what that motor likes. Okay. That's advanced, guys. That's way out there when you really, have the concept on how these engines work. But the pipe, let me give y'all a heads up. These manufacturers make these pipes and dyno these pipes with their engines. There is no reason to try other pipes on that engine. They're doing the work for you. These manufacturers, they got to compete with each other. They're dynoing a pipe that best fits that engine. Okay? And it's all to do with back pressure and how that engine is ported. Okay, can you put on another pipe and the engine sounds good, runs good? Of course. But are you getting the full potential of that engine? Think about it. Yes, it may run good. It may sound good too. Some pipes sound better than other pipes. But we're looking for performance. So we can keep going from there, and we'll move on out to mid-range, high-end, low-end. So you have the high-end pipes, mid-range, and low-end. This is my theory, guys. This is the way I've done it through my years and what I was mentored. That the hardest thing to find is mid-range power. Because not everybody knows this, but you can find torque through gearing with your spur gear. You find mile per hour with your pinion gear. These manufacturers make a special curve to every motor, and you have to learn how to gear it. You hear somebody, you'll go on a forum, they'll say, I'm running a 13 tooth. Or, okay, let's go back. You'll see a forum or even a racer says, well, I'm running a 13 or 14. But you know what? They're only giving you a quarter of their setup. There's all different kind of ways you can set up a motor clutch combo. So don't get that kind of twisted. They're not telling you the full story. So what you're trying to do is we can create bottom end with the spur gear. We can create mile per hour. How do we make mid-range? How do we create mid-range? Technology from your motors, guys. Technology of that pipe and that motor is designed, that porting is for that pipe. That's where you're going to get your mid-range, guys. And yes, you can get a torque pipe, but why? I think it's just another sell item. I don't think you do that, because most of these manufacturers, if you see that they're recommending a pipe for that engine, and that's what they recommend. If you want a low torque motor, you just want more torque on the low end, you got to buy a low end motor with a low end torque pipe. But basically you have to run, to keep it in the power band, the power range, you run that pipe that was designed for that motor. I always run mid-range pipes. I like mid-range pipes because I can create low end through my spur gear, my diff oils, and my clutch. I can create low end. I can create high end by putting a bigger pinion on. But with that being said, you have to have the horsepower to be able to pull that top pinion. Think of it as a bicycle, 10 speed. You know how you get on 10 speed and you have it on that big gear and you are just, your legs are moving and you're just trucking and it's really easy and you're just not going nowhere. You have no speed. Same philosophy, that's what that big spur will do for you. So you're thinking, okay, great. Now what's going to give me the top end? It's the pinion. Now you shift gears and you get to the little one. It's harder for you physically to turn, but you get it going and you are way faster. Your mile per hour is faster. Just like on a 10-speed bike. It works the same way. It takes a little more power out of your legs to push that mile per hour, with that gear, but you can do it. And that goes back to your motor pipe combo. It has to be peaking together with the clutch to drive the low end and the top end. And then you're finding mid-range. Only reason I keep these pipes because they're classics. 9901 Nova Rossi, the JP pipe, and Losi's. I had a Losi bell in here. I just gave it away. Only Losi parts I have in my garage. Those two pipes. They're good pipes though. And to go back a little bit on the porting, now, your mod motor guys that are doing the mods, listen to your mod guy because he is porting and timing these motors differently. So the pipe is going to change on a mod motor. So don't get that twisted either. So run the pipe that your modded motor, your motor builder, your engine builder suggests. Do that. Personally, I wouldn't use a mod builder if they didn't have a dyno. Not at all. Because they're going back and kind of guessing and a little bit of their experience. But you're putting your hands in their experience and in their hearing, and that's tough. I want to see it on paper. You know, put it on a dyno. I want to see the pipe getting on the engine with the clutch. That's what I want to see. So that's my deal. If you're going to use a modder, use somebody that has a dyno. Pay for what you get. Anybody has any comments or questions, let me know. I'm out.